Hey guys, how you doing? This is Jim Huffman, and I am the CEO and co-founder of GrowthHit, a digital marketing agency. And today on this webinar, we're going to talk about how to make a growth marketing plan for your company or for your startup. So what I'm going to do is this will take about maybe 45 minutes, probably less. We've got about 35 slides to go through today. It's pretty tactical, about 10 case studies. But what I want to do is dive in and really help you understand if you have an idea, a product, or an early stage company and you're owning marketing, what should you be doing with your limited time and resources to try and maximize the return on marketing. So this is something we're actually using with the startups we advise, and I'm going to dive into a little bit more about myself and how we kind of came up with this framework. So I'm going to share my screen now, and we're going to jump into the presentation. All right. Okay, great. So first, a little bit about me. There is my headshot, so there you go. I am a growth mentor at Techstars, which is a startup accelerator out of Boulder, and I work with the team in New York City. And then I also work with the Association of National Advertisers, just kind of as a marketing instructor. But my main job is I'm the CEO and founder of GrowthHit, which is a growth marketing agency that works with early stage companies to help run their growth marketing strategy and actually execute on it. I mentor a few other startups, and I also teach digital marketing at General Assembly. And my background has been in growing other businesses. One is a e-commerce company. We're able to go from 0 to about 10 million in sales in 18 months. And another one was a content company called The Take. And we actually grew through SEO, search engine optimization, and we're able to get to about 2 million views a month. But enough about me. Let's dive into what you're going to learn in this presentation. So these are some of the things we're going to cover as we're building out a marketing plan for your business or for your startup idea. We're going to start with first understanding who are your ideal customers and what is your pitch, right? What makes you unique and special to make them actually be interested enough to use your product to pay money for it. We're going to look at what is your marketing tech stack. If you're just one person or one small team, how can you take advantage of some tools that are out there to really amplify what you're trying to do? I am a big proponent of understanding what your competition is doing so you can understand the industry and also maybe innovate on top of what's working for them. We're going to look at understanding your conversion funnels. Right here I have CRO, and that means conversion rate optimization. Basically, when people come to your site, are they doing what you want them to do? Whether that's getting their email address or actually getting them to transact and entering credit card information. We're going to talk a little bit about SEO, analytics, Facebook advertising for people that are looking to do paid channels, and then just growth marketing in general. Okay, so let's take a step back. You're probably listening to this webinar on a, what is today, Tuesday night, because you have all this responsibility to grow a company, whether you're a business owner or you're the head of marketing, but you don't know where to start, right? You're reading articles in TechCrunch, you're looking at competition, and honestly, that's good to do, but it's not where you should start, right? You need to start with the customer, what they want, and how you can add the most value rather than just creating a viral video. So let's talk about some examples of companies that were actually able to find a marketing channel that worked for them to get to a point of scale and growth. Because if they can do it, you can too. So these are the end goals we want to get to with our marketing plan. So first, in the early 2000s, there was a company called Daily Candy, which was an email newsletter for professional women, telling them the one thing they need to know. And when they launched, they could have done a lot of things. They could have done a print publication. Maybe they could have launched as just an online website or waited for social media to really come into its own and been a social media-based publication. But instead, they launched on one channel, and that was email. And this is a time before Gmail broke up your inbox. from promotions and social, where it was actually just one inbox and your open rate was probably 80%. They maximized this one channel and ended up getting acquired for $150 million by Comcast, and they just had one channel that was key for their growth. Another example is Airbnb. Obviously, they're a huge success now, but for about 2.5 years, they really struggled to get traction. They're a two-sided marketplace where they build up inventory of people listing their homes or rooms in their homes, and then the other side of the marketplace are people that actually rent those. But they actually failed for 2 years to really get any notable traction. They even created a button on Craigslist that would automatically post to Airbnb, but that was actually not the turning point for them. For them, it was really focusing on conversion and making beautiful photos that would be on their homepage, would be on the checkout page, that allowed their customers to actually convert because they thought the homes were pretty enough for them to stay. And I believe their valuation is at over $24 billion. Dropbox, another company that had a great product, but really had to find the right channel that worked for them. And they tried a lot of traditional advertising, whether it's display ads, keyword ads, but they saw diminishing returns after their budget got over about $20,000 per month. But their number one mechanism for growth was this referral engine they built into their product experience, where you're using their free cloud storage, and once you're out of free space, you can either pay to get more, or you can invite a friend, do a tweet, do a Facebook post, and they would give you more storage. And to date, this is still their number one driver of new acquisition, and it's this referral channel. And I believe their valuation is over $10 billion now. And then one that's a little bit more timely is the Fat Jew on Instagram. This is a guy that jumped on Instagram right as it was kind of riding the upward wave, and just posted memes, interesting posts to say the least, and he was able to get 8 million followers on Instagram. He then took his followers over to YouTube, started a YouTube channel, and now he has his own website where he actually sells rosé. That's a 10-figure or 8-figure business. But it all started by finding the right distribution channel that would work for him, and he was able to ride that wave. So kind of high level, the end goal with this marketing plan is finding the right distribution channel where you can put the right message at the right time for your customers. So that's what we want to get to when we're trying to build a marketing strategy for your business. And the last thing to consider when we're looking at these different marketing channels and distribution channels is where are they at in their life cycle. So as you look at this graph, the x-axis is time, the y-axis is effectiveness, which is essentially how powerful is word of mouth marketing. And as you can see, from 2002 to 2005, email was a very powerful marketing channel. This is when Daily Candy launched, because they could ride the wave of email because so many people are on it sharing content with friends. But then around 2007, it becomes a little oversaturated, and email marketing might not be as effective. Or if it is, I'm actually a huge proponent of it still. It's a very crowded space, which means your content has to be that much better. And then as we look at Facebook kind of on the rise from 2008 to 2013, you have companies like BuzzFeed and Upworthy that were able to ride the wave of those distribution channels. So as we're building out our marketing plan, you really want to think, okay, where, if I'm focusing on Facebook or Pinterest or some new emerging channel, where is it at in its life cycle? Because if it's early on, it might be more important to focus on speed and being kind of a leader in that space. But if it's a more saturated channel, like maybe Pinterest or Facebook, you might want to lean more on quality of content rather than being a first user or mover in that space. Okay. So we've talked about the end goal, where we want to get to with marketing. We want to be a fast-growing kind of tech company that has a massive valuation. But first, we need a plan. So this is how we've broken out building a growth marketing plan at GrowthHit. And we put it into 3 phases. The first is research and discovery, really understanding first your customers. What problem are you solving, or what benefit are you giving to them, and how are you uniquely positioned to do that? The second phase is creating your marketing infrastructure. So, what's your website look like, your mobile app? Do you have analytics set up? Do you have SEO in place if that's going to be a huge driver of traffic for you? Are you prepared to all of a sudden get 100,000 or 1,000,000 hits to your website? Could you handle that traffic and convert it the way you'd want to? And the third thing, once you have the infrastructure in place, that's when it gets a little bit more fun, because you can actually start launching and testing some of these marketing and growth strategies that we're going to talk through. Okay, but first, I keep saying growth marketing. It's like, okay, what in the world is that? How is that different from marketing? So Dave McClure of 500 Startups talks about it this way, where he says, marketing and advertising really focuses on top of the funnel, getting people to your web product or mobile app. Growth marketing focuses on every phase of the funnel, not just acquiring people and getting them there, but actually activating them, getting them to do what you want them to do, if it's to create an account or upload some information. Also retention, how are you using email marketing or mobile push notifications to get people back to your site? And then at the bottom of the funnel, how can you actually monetize those users, whether it's through actually purchasing something or even through advertising. And then the top marketers are able to get a referral mechanism in place where you turn your customers into actual marketers. So growth marketing is where we focus on the entire funnel, and that's what this is about. All right, phase 1, research and discovery. First, persona development. Who are your customers? The reason why I have this slide as number 1 is because it has to start with them. I like working with companies where I actually use the product, because if I'm the user of it, I'm much better as a marketer being able to add value to them. So I put here a matrix that we actually use that we'll fill out whenever we're trying to understand who is our customer and what is their digital footprint online, right? So let's say we are a men's clothing brand comparable to Bonobos. What would this look like? So this would be guys age 22 to 36. They have a college degree. They're employed, potentially in finance. They could be single or in a relationship. Their hobbies would be very active, maybe outdoorsy. Also enjoy nightlife or whatever it would be. Brands they could also like J. Crew. They could like the website Cool Hunter, whatever it is. But as you start to build out this persona and understand what they do, what their actions would be online, other brands they look at online, it really helps you paint a picture of, okay, the more I understand them, the more I can add value to them as a marketer. And with your product or service, you're going to have multiple personas you want to build out. So this grid is a way to help brainstorm who are those customers and what do they look like online. The second phase is let's look at our competitors. So if we, again, we'll use the Bonobos example. If Bonobos is our competitor, what's working for them with marketing and what do their customers look like? So I'm going to jump out of this presentation and I want to do an exercise to kind of show you how you could do that. So this tool right here is called SimilarWeb. You guys have probably heard of it, but it allows you to crawl the website of a competitor or a comparable brand just to get some basic information. So I just dropped in the URL for Bonobos into this site, and right now we're starting to get some data. So we can see they're getting about 1 million visits per month. Average session duration is 4 minutes, but the page per visit is 9, which is very high. You're looking at over 2 pages per minute. So these guys are shopping for different clothes. Very heavy in the US. And right here, what channels are working for them? Search, search engine optimization, SEO, 32%. That's really impressive. Direct traffic is 33%, which means people know their brand. They're typing it into Google and going straight to the site. And then referrals. They have a lot of links across the web, whether it's GQ or Business Insider or whoever's talking about them. Other websites are giving them links. And then social is 8%. So my next question is, what social channels are working for them? So as we look at referrals, we can see other sites that are referring people to Bonobo. So right now, GQ, Business Insider, Dapper.com, these people are sending traffic to Bonobo. So I would say, okay, if we are trying to compete with them, let's go see how they're linking to them, and that will give you some ideas for marketing strategies. What keywords are working for them? So when people go to Google and they start to search, and when they land on Bonobos, what are they typing into their search bar? So what Bonobos is paying for are men's shorts, commuter jeans, Bonobos jeans, very brand specific stuff. And organic search, meaning they're not paying for it, their site is optimized for it. These are the top keywords. So as you're looking at SEO, that can help give some ideas. And then for social, Facebook is #1. And this is interesting, Reddit's #2. So I would immediately go to Reddit and understand how are their customers talking about Bonobos on Reddit, because that might give you some ideas on what they value or what they care about, or maybe even or issues they have with the product. And then you can also see the makeup of where they're doing advertising. So they're on ESPN, so they're going after guys who obviously like sports, Business Insider, guys that are into business. So that helps you understand where they're putting their ads. And you can use this tool along with some other ones to really understand the footprint of your competitors and what their customers are doing. And one other one that I really like is AdBeat, because it allows you to see your competitors' ads across the web. So you can understand what are the taglines they're using or aspirational images they're using to maybe give you some inspiration on who they're going after. And the reason why it's so important to understand your customer is I try to kind of show in these two examples. So first is Seamless. This is similar to Grubhub or Uber Eats, where you can basically order anything you want from any restaurant delivered to your door, and it launched in New York. And what's interesting, when they launched, they had no idea who their customer would be. But right as they launched, they started getting a lot of orders from guys that were college educated. They're making really good money, but they're working crazy hours, and they're too busy to cook, and actually ordering on their iPhones, and they're ordering it to their office. So right away, they're like, wow, these are single young professionals that work at investment banks or consulting firms. So by understanding their customer, they started doing partnerships with McKinsey and Company and various consulting firms and financial institutions. And they were able to own the market by first going after this segment. And another example is Stripe Payments, which is a developer-first platform for processing payments online. And they really went after developers early on by hosting hackathons and hosting meetups, because they knew the people that were going to use Stripe were people that were coding up websites and wanted to easily put in a payment option. And they knew where they lived online and offline, and they made marketing strategies for it, all because they knew their customer. Okay. So now that we understand our customer, we understand how our competition is positioned and who they're going after, probably the most important thing is, how do you position yourself whenever you're trying to get in front of a potential customer or user? So I also call this kind of the elevator pitch experiment. And whether it's actually talking to a customer, or you're making copy for a landing page, or you're making copy for an ad, here's some kind of formulas you can use to try and easily explain what you do. First is problem solution. So this one would be, let's see, for example, the company I was working at before was called The Take, where we would pitch it like this. Have you ever watched a movie like James Bond and you wanted to know what brand of sunglasses he was wearing? Well, we help you figure out the exact products they're wearing in movies. So we can do a problem solution pitch. You also have something like association, where you could say, we're like Uber, but for private planes, or whatever it would be. When people already know a brand, you can use it to your advantage to help explain what you actually do. And also be benefit focused, use things in second person. So similar to the one I did with the take, have you ever using the word you and just talk about what the benefit is to them. And then the fourth option, you can actually, if you have a really interesting origin story, like the Warby Parker founders, they started Warby Parker because he lost his $800 pair of sunglasses, and he just thought it was ridiculous that he'd have to pay another $800 to replace them. And so that story, a lot of people within his company kept repeating, and they pushed it also with a lot of their digital marketing campaigns. All right, so that's phase one, understanding your customer, your competition, and how you are positioned against them, specifically how you can pitch your company against them. All right, so research and discovery. Oh, let me go back. Oh, no, sorry. This is infrastructure. Sorry, not research and discovery. So first, analytics and KPIs. So what is your business, right? What metrics actually matter to you? So what I did here is I threw in a template for a marketing KPI dashboard that we use. And this is actually for an e-commerce client. And this is what we look at week to week to understand how different campaigns are performing and just how the business is performing. So first is I want to understand how many new customers are we getting every week. When you're an early stage company, you very much care about growth rate and how fast you're growing. So how many new customers are you getting? And also how many new returning customers are actually being re-engaged or activated again. Because if that starts to go down, then you know you have an issue with product or you have an issue with churn. Also, revenue from new customers against total ad spend. Because with e-commerce, you really want the cost to acquire a customer, your CAC, customer acquisition cost. It needs to be about 30% below what your LTV, lifetime value is, for your business model to be sustainable. So how much does it cost for you to acquire a new customer? Is it $20 or $200? And then also, what is your sign-up conversion rate? So this is more top of the funnel. If you can get your sign-up conversion rate over about 7% on an e-commerce site that's selling products between $30 to $300, you're in a really good place. And then your actual conversion rate for people coming to your site and purchasing something, again, this is kind of a general ballpark number, but if you're selling products between $30 to $300, if you can have that over 2%, you're in a really good place. And so understanding these key metrics, conversion rate, sign-up rate, how much it costs to acquire an email or to get a new customer, then you as a marketer can be really powerful in gauging how well your marketing campaigns are performing and what you need to change. Also, if you have Google Analytics, they have a pretty straightforward dashboard that you can use. And I took a snapshot of a dashboard of one of the clients we have, where we have just kind of high-level total revenue, total sessions, and what is our e-commerce conversion rate. So I can see that it's over 2%. So I know that conversion is going well, so we can focus on more top-of-the-funnel things like acquisition. And to the right, you can see what channels are bringing in the most money. And I would then want to dive in there to understand what is the conversion rate for each channel for social, email, organic traffic, and referral. All right, conversion rate optimization. This is another thing when you're looking at your infrastructure that needs to be a top priority. So before you start trying to send a lot of traffic to your site, you really need to make sure you're set up to handle it. Meaning if they come to your site, will they go to the page you want them to go to? Will they sign up for your email list, or will they transact? So I put in 2 screenshots of best practices for a landing page and a product page. So on the left, this is actually a landing page for our website. And real quickly, you'll notice there are 2 call to actions here, and they're both get started. We have it in the top right and right there in the center. We could have a menu up there with 5 or 7 other options, but we don't, because we really want to control what the user does on the website and funnel them to our product detail page. And then notice the top line, grow your startup the right way. This is benefit focus. It's second person. It uses the word you, so it's about the customer. And then the line below it explains a little bit more about what we do. Our call to action is a big green button. We have the word free in there to hopefully help convert. And at the bottom, we have some social proof as far as clients we've worked with. And also, if you, let's say you're a new company, you don't have partners, you don't have quotes from press, you don't have a whole lot of people writing about you, you could also use testimonials from people that are starting to use your product, even if it's friends that have started to test it and they have good things to say. That's a good way to use social proof in the early days. And then to the right, this is an example of the ASOS product detail page, and they really do an awesome job of designing a page that converts. You can tell from the big image right there where you can easily see the product. They have the quick view that allows you to see it from 4 different perspectives. And if you clicked the bottom button, the view catwalk, they actually have a video so you can see the product in motion. And then on the right side, they have the price, they have the words free shipping. You can easily select the size and the color. Notice how big the buttons are right there. It's almost as wide as the image. And if you're on a mobile device, they'll be just as wide as the full screen. So they've done a really good job of setting this up for conversion, and they have all the product and brand info there. So anyone that's looking at building an e-commerce site, I would definitely check out ASOS on desktop and mobile to understand their experience. They've done a really good job with it. All right, so once you've kind of audited your site and you've set it up for conversion based on whatever that goal is, you also want to make sure your site is set up for SEO, which is search engine optimization. The reason why SEO is so powerful is because it is a free channel where you can kind of sit back, and if you have it set up the right way, if you have a lot of backlinks, Google will give you a high ranking, and as people search for certain keywords, you will come up and you will get that traffic. So what I pasted in here is, what does Google care about when they're deciding how to rank you for different keywords? You've got on-page optimization, which is 15% of what they factor in, and that means how fast does your page load? Is it responsive? Is it optimized for the keywords you want? Are the images you have on the site compressed so it doesn't take a while for it to load? You also have anchor text on external links. So what that means is, so if you're Bonobos, the ideal link you could get on another site that is the text that it would have would actually be men's pants, because I assume the search demand for people looking for men's pants is very high, probably over 100,000 hits per month. And Google, as they're crawling different websites, they see men's pants, there's a hyperlink and it goes to Bonobos. It shows that you're an authoritative site for that keyword. So these are things to factor in as you're looking to see if SEO is right for your site. And just as a quick kind of tip, if you really want to understand how much search traffic a certain keyword gets per month, you can go to Google AdWord Planner and you can hit Tools in the top right. And if you drop down, you can go to the Keyword Planner and type in different keywords, and it'll show you the search volume per keyword. So in this example, there's a startup that offers executive coaching for professionals, and they were optimizing their site for the keywords executive training, but it only got 1,300 searches per month. But they quickly saw that the phrase life coach gets almost 50,000 searches per month. So they quickly changed their site from being optimized from executive training to life coach, and they started driving in a lot more SEO traffic. Okay, we have talked about setting up or finding the right customer, setting up the infrastructure, and now I want to get into actually designing your marketing strategy. So as you've looked at your competitors, understand what's working for them, not working for them, and you just coming up with different ideas, you're going to want to build a bottoms-up growth model. And I'm going to get back to this, but this is essentially where you map out all the things you want to do and you tie a date to when you want to launch it and put it into effect. So this is a chart we use to show when we're going to launch different campaigns and exactly what we're going to do. One thing that you need to figure out is, are you going to be using free channels or paid channels? And it really depends on your business model. If you're making a lot of money, then you're able to invest it back in your marketing and advertising campaign. So for example, a lot of e-commerce companies will end up spending between 7 to 12% of what they make back into their marketing and advertising budget. So if you are able to invest in advertising, what does that mean? You can do SEM, which is search engine marketing. You can do Facebook ads. You can do display ads. You can do retargeting ads on Google or Facebook. You can even do ads just that are around branding and positioning. But if you're unable to have a big advertising budget, then you need to focus on some of the free channels like SEO, email marketing, content marketing, whether it's building out your blog or even doing manual outreach, building up a hit list of people that could be potential customers, and how can you reach out to them and add value in a cool and interesting way. And I'm just going to talk about this for one slide, but if you are fortunate enough to be able to do paid advertising, I would strongly look at Facebook ads. Most big agencies, when they're looking at their digital spend, are spending around 70 to 80% of that online spend on Facebook because the segmentation is so powerful. Who knows how long this will go on for, where the conversion rate and the engagement is so high on Facebook, but definitely something to test in the early days. And I'm a big proponent of giving what's called a good lead magnet with your Facebook ads. So here's two examples. Well, one is giving 30% off on the Food Panda example. And the one on the right at Espresso, they actually created a guide to put in their ads where they would give you a download for 50 handpicked Twitter ad examples. All right, so you've looked at, can you do paid channels? Can you do free channels? The end goal is to build a roadmap of when you can launch all these things. And the last step is, this is when you need to write down every single growth experiment you can think of. What we like to do with our clients is think of over 50 experiments, and I pasted in an example of a Google sheet with some of the experiments that we use. And what we'll do is we'll say what part of the funnel this experiment will help. If it's like Facebook ads, then it's about top of the funnel acquiring new people. If it's launching an email onboarding campaign, then that's about retention and bringing existing users or members back to the site. So think about, what is your top priority? Is it driving in new customers, or is it engaging existing ones? And what marketing strategies do you need to do to hit your goals? And this chart kind of echoes what I just said. And this was actually created by Dave McClure, who's the founder of 500 Startups. And he calls this pirate metrics because it says R. And it's basically, anytime you are doing marketing, where in the funnel does it help, right? Is it acquisition with SEO or Facebook ads? Is it about activation? So you're like, how do we get them to sign up? How do we get them to go through our onboarding? What can you do with CRO, conversion rate optimization, to get the numbers you want? And if you have all of these things working, it's really then about referral marketing. How can you turn your existing customers into marketers, similar to how Dropbox was able to do it with their referral strategy? And what I did here is I pulled, this is from the book Hacking Growth by Sean Ellis. And he lays out these 3 different types of marketing strategies. So you can have a marketing tactic that would be viral or word of mouth marketing, right? Similar to doing a giveaway or contest, where people would actually share that with their friends or on their social network. It could be an organic campaign where it's about doing content marketing or building a site that's SEO friendly to drive in that organic traffic. Or it could be about, if you have a lot of customers, how are you re-engaging them with email marketing? And we've talked about paid, focusing on retargeting or Facebook ads or content syndication by using a tool like Outbrain or Taboola. And then for more ideas and inspiration on building out your 50 plus ideas for growing your company, there's actually a book called Traction where they break down the 19 channels you can do for acquiring users. They have everything from just using PR, using offline ads, to content marketing and engineering as marketing, which I'll get into in a second. But I really like this book because they also give really nice detailed examples for each one of these tactics, how other companies have done it successfully. And speaking of engineering as marketing, here are 2 quick examples of how you can leverage your developers to create tools that actually allow for more growth with your company. So LinkedIn in the early days, they knew that the power of their website was in your network. So the faster they could get users to 50 friends in 30 days, they knew people would like LinkedIn because the bigger the network you have, the more connections you have, so you get more job opportunities, or it's better for biz dev. So in the onboarding process, they actually allowed you to upload your contact list, your actual address book, so you could connect with people that were already on the platform. So they took the average connections from 5 friends at onboarding to actually 50 friends at onboarding. And Guilt, in this bottom example, in the early days, they got 75% of new users from this one acquisition tool. And because they knew how much it costs to acquire a customer, they could give someone $25 if they invited a friend and that friend made a purchase. So just having this one referral mechanism, they're able to have a pretty good growth rate. And then I put in here, this is actually from Ladder.io, how you can execute your plan. So you've come up with all your growth experiments. You've, let me go back a few slides. You've slotted it into when you're actually going to execute it. The next thing you want to do is build it into your day-to-day strategy, right? So what we like to do is on Mondays, we do analysis where we look at that dashboard that I showed you earlier on, okay, what happened this past week? How is our conversion funnel working? What's driving in the most traffic? And is that good traffic or not? And then that usually leads to day 2, where it creates more growth ideas, more growth experiments that we can put into our pipeline and schedule. And then on day 3 is when we get approval from whoever that would be, if it's a client, or for you, if it's with your CEO or whatever it is, on what to actually run. And then on Friday is when you actually want to execute, or I'm sorry, Thursday, day 4, is when you want to execute those experiments and execute your growth roadmap. And then day 5, this is the day where we actually like to learn by reading any case studies around our industry, or just see what people are doing that's innovative and new in the marketing space. And I pasted in an example of a Trello board we use as well, if you didn't want to use a spreadsheet, on how you can manage your plan. And as I kind of close up here, I put in more kind of continued education as far as any books one would want to read or videos someone would want to check out. The first one is How to Start a Startup by Alex Schultz, the head of growth at Facebook. And he does a really good talk on how to grow a company and how to run a growth team. And I mentioned number 4, Traction, which gives a lot of ideas on how to actually acquire users. And then, yeah, we have a blog as well, number 16, GrowthHit.com. It's actually already live, so check it out. We've got some good case studies up there. And that's it. If you guys want to get this presentation, go ahead and sign up for our email list at GrowthHit.com, and I'll be emailing this out on Thursday to everybody. So I'll be sure to include you all. And if you have any questions, my email's there. It's just jim@growthhit.com, and appreciate you guys taking the time. So have a great day.